Hi there, Aquarius. When it rains, it pours. And what I'm talking about here is your seventh house, which is relationships and the general public. It's August 2019. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au, and we're going to have a quick look here at what's going on, especially with this new moon in your seventh house. You're either hitched or you're not. If you're married in a permanent relationship, then this is an important turning point for you. A time when you're going to revamp the way you approach your relationships, or what may happen is that your partner themselves may opt to shift the way that they are living their lives and relating to you as well. For those of you that aren't in a relationship, or perhaps not in a permanent relationship, this is a time when those relationships can become a lot more serious for you. Now, also, we note the cluster of planets here are under what we call sunbeams, and this can cause some problems. Note firstly that Mars rules your 10th house, so around the 7th, when this combustion is taking place and the moon is transiting in its debilitation here in your career sector, apart from the relationships, we see that work and professional matters may be a bit of a problem or an obstruction. Also, along with Venus here being under sunbeams, ruling your higher ideals and philosophies and principles. Nevertheless, around the 9th, we see that strong conjunction of the moon in the house of profitability and friendships, socializing with Jupiter. Jupiter's retrograde, and that can show that there's been some rather backward or confused trend in your finances and profitability, especially if you run a independent business. We see the stationary direct motion taking place around the 12th, 13th, 14th. Things should start to move back on track there. Notice the 12th house moon here. That's a little down. Conjunction of Saturn here is never sparkly. It can make you a little backward thinking, a little remorseful, a little concerned about previous actions. You can't change what's happened in the past. It's time to let that go. First house is a full moon here around the 15th. You notice that that is a very, very powerful sixth ruler, the moon. That has to do with your health, vitality, debts, enemies, disease. That is not good for that full moon. So it shows you have to exercise a lot more caution. And here, when it transits into the second house of food and diet with Neptune, you may need to ratify your dietary regime and take a look at the implications of what you're eating and how it impacts upon your health. Mars moves into the 8th house, a problem for your career, and certainly a position that can create disputes with partners over money, over shared resources, banking, finance, annuities, your superannuation or retirement fund, and also any sorts of money that you've got tied up with other people in loans, so on and so forth. There is a slightly improved condition here around the 21st when the moon and Uranus, the planet of sudden and unexpected changes, makes a favourable aspect to all of these planets. Venus then also moves into this area on the 22nd. So this is building up in power. That has to do again with this shared resources areas, your banking. Sun moves there on the 24th. And that's going to continue really for the rest of the month as a dominant theme, as opposed to where we started the month with this area of relationships, personal contracts, the general public, public relations, etc. So here, this 8th house also has a lot to do with intimacy. I've talked to some of the other star signs about this today. Being vulnerable may not be easy for you, but in fact, it is the way forward. This 8th house is a house of hidden activities, and one in which a lot of astrologers call it the unconscious. So it's a problem question, because when we say you need to get in touch with your unconscious, if you're unconscious with it, how do you become conscious of it? So that has to do with, I guess, non-mental processes such as meditation, deep breathing, where you simply allow these things over time to come to the surface and become available for you to deal with. Here we see Mercury moving into this 8th house. Therapies, counselling, communication and talking to your significant other on this can also be a way that you can bring these complexes of your past into the visible part of your mentality. It's a new moon as well. So this month, 2 new moons, one that started in the 7th house of your relationships, and then another new moon which completes the month in this 8th hidden house. Notice also you've got Saturn, Ketu and Pluto in this other hidden house, the 12th house. 4th, 12th, 8th house. So for many of you born under Aquarius, this is a very significant period where the subconscious, the spiritual, the unresolved components of these psychological complexes is surfacing for you to deal with them. And that can only be a good thing, can't it? I hope. If you can't deal with that and you do need to talk about that, I'm more than happy to help you with that. Drop me a line here, subscribe while you're at it. And of course, the more personal readings, where you're going to get the maximum bang for your buck. This is a very general view of astrology. And when you have a personal reading, it's based upon your date, your time, the latitude and longitude of your birth. So that horoscope that's prepared by the astrologer becomes unique to you. I hope you'll take me up on that. In the meantime, don't forget to pop in at astrology.com.au. We have the sequence of transits for the month of August to work in conjunction with this, and I hope you'll avail yourself of that. Till next month, take care. Bye-bye.